Morning, everybody. That moment where your phone falls off the tripod and everything goes really awkward. Sorry about that. Morning, everyone. Hope you're fabulous and all things fabulous. It is Q&A Wednesday this morning. There's a whole lot of lens glare going on. We'll take those off. So today there are some questions that I wanted to answer off for you. Tamara sent me through one that I thought was really interesting and I thought would be helpful for you guys to hear the answer to as well. So one of the things, Tamara's coming along to Sales and Marketing Spice School in October, which is really awesome and exciting. And some of the things that I get, hey, good morning, speaking of you. One of the things that I get everybody to do before they land in the room with me is a little bit of work around who their audience is and things like that. Because, oh golly, Nicola, I'm so sorry. This framing is not good. And okay, here we go. That's a little bit better. So I really want people to get a really good, solid feel for who their audience is before they end up in the room. Because the thing with this is that, without knowing who your audience is, it makes it really, really hard to work out how to talk to them, right? If you don't know what their problems are and everything like that, then that's a really big problem. So one of the things that she's asked is around, how do we get well? One of the instructions that I've given is we really need to start talking to people. Right? It's really it's really easy to assume a whole bunch of stuff about our audience that might not even be true or real. Now, every time that I do a niche refinement, I interview people who fit the parameters of who my ideal market might be. Now, I did this most recently in March this year, I think, or maybe April this year, and I interviewed maybe 20 people, got inside their brains. I wanted to understand what their problems were and what their challenges were, not just in relation to social media, but in business, but in general, because it means that if I can understand the multifacets of their life, I can have a really great, powerful conversation with them on all sorts of different levels. Now, you guys know I'm all about being real, being authentic, and showing up as we are. And that's really what I want you guys to do as well. And the best way that we can do that is by knowing who we're talking to so that you can deliver a really clear and powerful message, right? That's the importance of this work. The question that Tamara has asked kind of comes off the back of that. And what she said, which I think this is relevant for a lot of you actually as well, she said, would you have thoughts on how to create an authentic brand when it's a team as opposed to an individual? How do we convey us without being our faces, or should it be? So it's a really, really important question to have answered, because lots of us have team, lots of us have a brand, lots of us have, different ways of showing up, I suppose, online. Louise, this might help you as well. So thanks for asking that or for posting that in there. That's helpful. And good morning, Margaret. So my opinion is, even if you are a corporate entity, so I'm working with some corporate clients at the moment, and they do have team. They've got people underneath them that do some of the facilitation or some of the delivery, and that's great. The thing that helps people build trust with you quickly, so I'm talking if you're probably doing maybe less than $5 million a year, right? Then people are needing to, number one, we've got limited budgets. And number two, the audience that you're talking to want to ideally put a face to a name. It takes a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of effort to try and do brand awareness in order to build trust, think Coca-Cola, Foxtel, Apple, people like really big kind of conglomerates that can afford to spend money on brand awareness. We don't have that. Now, I don't know about you. I don't have a whole lot of money to go spreading around all over the place on billboards trying to get everybody to know my name. That's not the important thing for me. The important thing for me is, what can we use? What do we have available to us in order to be able to connect with our audience? And that is you, right? So even if you've got team, even if you've got programs or offerings or services that you are not necessarily delivering, you will build momentum faster. You will build visibility faster by you showing up, right? So Tamara, for example, in your case, you might have hang on, I'm drawing a picture, as I do. So you've got and this might be mirrored, so you'll have to just assume that you can read this the front way around. So you've got your brand as being the overall thing, right? So this might be ABC company, and then you've got you underneath that, right? And then you might have your team members that kind of come down underneath there, or the different programs or the different offerings. I've been chatting with a lady called Maxine who, similar type of thing, there's different offers underneath here. You're going to be the spokesperson for your brand, or you really need to be the spokesperson of your brand. Tamara, I know that you're in startup mode. So in order to build momentum and connection and trust fast, then we need to have the people, your audience, identifying with you. It just makes life easier. Now, there's another, a friend and mentor of mine, actually, we were having this conversation as well. And I mean, if one of your intentions is to retain your business, then you've got nothing to lose. You be the face of your brand, you're the face of your business, and you're good. If you think that you might want to sell, then you need to know what that timeline might look like. So let's say that you might decide that you want to sell in 5 years. At the 5-year mark or around there, you might want to sell. Awesome. Then for the next 2.5 years, or next 3 years even maybe, you need to be your face on the forefront, everything like that. And then you can start to transition. Once you've got that momentum built, you can then start to transition your face out because you've already got the trust there. Does that make sense, guys? Just want to make sure that that's really, really clear. Tamara, I hope that helps you. She says, I'm talented, I can read mirrored. Oh, good. Oh, so it does look back to front on your end. That's really funny. Okay. So something that I've toyed with the idea around has been really around going, I might decide later on to have other coaches do coaching for me, with my clients, or, things like that. So I would still bring those people into the conversation at different times so that people know that I've got team. Yeah, at the moment I've got a sales coach and he kind of steps in when needed, but it's not, he doesn't need to be front and center. So I do talk about that when I've got clients, but really, you want to have somebody be the face of everything. As a family business, could a couple be the face, or is it better to have one spokesperson? I think to start with, Tamara, it's better. I'm just thinking about the easiest way for you to be able to make it work fast. You be the spokesperson, right? Your face, your voice, you show up, you do the lives, you're the boss lady. You know what your content needs to be. Get the foundation, get that bedrock really settled in first. And what I would do maybe is say, because I know that you've got your husband and your mother and I don't know who else, I think. I might have that wrong. But let's say that it's your mum. I read your post this morning and I just can't remember exactly. So let's say that your mum comes in maybe once a month. You might say, hey, mum, we're going to do a Q&A. You don't say mum. You say, hi, everybody, this is blah, blah, blah. So I might do this with Jackie, for example. So my mum who comes and helps me out at events, and she does my accounts and bookwork and things like that. So she's the financial goddess person. I'm really great at spending the money. She needs to work out how to make it work for her. Oh, she's got her work cut out for her. So let's say that I was going to bring her into some of the delivery aspect or something like that. So might have her on camera, have her sitting here, and we might have a bit of a jibber jabber about it. What are we working on today? What's going on? I might interview her or get her to ask me questions. So you can bring other people in like that. So that's that. Another thing that you could look at, if you're a retail store, for example, then you want to be able to, ideally, I think, I would very much look at you driving. You're hopping on, you're taking photos of you in using or wearing whatever it is that you're selling. Get your clients, get your customers involved, but you've got to be the driver. You really can only have one driver, right? If you try and have two drivers, you crash. So have one driver to start with, get those foundations set really firmly and easily, and then go from there. You can still have the other people in the team interact with you, have ideas and things like that. That's, pretty clear, pretty obvious. Okay, so I hope that answers that for you. Now I had another question overnight that I thought would be interesting around advertising, paid advertising on Facebook. There has been some interesting things that have happened, I think, in the last week and a half with with Facebook and their algorithms. Again, stabbed myself in the face with those. You've just got to work the process, work the system. So test some different audiences. If you are not getting the conversions, you should know within one day whether or not an ad is working. Okay, so it's a bit of test and measure, test and measure, test and measure. If you are looking for audiences to target, there's a really great thing called Audience Insights within the Facebook platform it's free, it's included, right? You can jump in there and have a look at the different, I'm just looking at it now to try and explain it. You can have a look for different things that you could target. So sometimes a niche can get oversaturated or over-targeted, or different interests can be targeted by lots of people. So we want to try and find a little pocket of people that you can have a really very specific conversation with really easily through your ads. I've had ads that have outperformed others. So like $18,000, that's not even true. 18,000 people, I think it was even 11,000. An audience the size of 11 or 18,000 has converted really well compared to an audience of, say, 400,000. So you've just got to test some different things and see what works. One of the little tricks that we've learned or that we've found recently that have worked really well is playing with the ad budget on a daily basis. So I would have 2 ads running that are reasonably similar, different audiences. And if you jump in there and if you increase the budget one day, decrease the budget the other day, and then the next day you flick that around, it seems to make everything kind of work. It's really, really weird. But it just seems to be, if you're able to tweak it and play with it, then, that works. That seems to work. Seems to trick the old Facebook. It's interesting. All right, Louise. Okay, one of the things that you've said, I just want to rewind back to the comment that you said when we started, is I'm exhausted and worn out trying to get my brand off the ground. Okay, so one thing that I would suggest for those of you who are struggling to get things off the ground, whether it's your page, whether it's your marketing, whatever, you've just got to really be aware of the time frames that you're looking at. Now, I think I said to you guys, might have been on Monday's coffee run, or even definitely Fridays, I talked about celebrations and insights and things like that. It can take 3 to 4 months of consistent, solid effort without a payoff for you to really build momentum and to start seeing results. All right, anybody who's telling you that you can get results in 5 minutes, just add water. Be really careful, be really aware, and be a little wary. That's my opinion. It can take, and it can just take time. So the big things that you need to be aware of, and this is what I was talking about at the start, is you've got to know who your audience is, and you've got to know the problems that you're solving for people. All right, that's going to make it so much easier for you to show up online and have conversations like these. Like, I'm not making this up. I've got a list of questions in front of me that I get asked. I've had questions overnight about ads, and I had Tamara's question about if you've got multiple people in an organization, how you be the face of it. So I'm not just sitting here going like, assuming that I'm trying to know what's going on in your heads. I just ask. Now, if you do the interview process, like what I talked about earlier on, of people who might be your ideal clients, then you're going to have a whole lot of information, a whole lot of data that you can start talking into. But it requires consistency, and it's a hard slog. I'm not going to lie. It takes time, and it can often feel like it's really fruitless. But if you keep at it and if you keep going, then it will build and it will grow. The other thing that we want to have a look at doing is using some of the things that are available to us and leveraging off them. So I don't only come in here and talk on here every day. I do that, but that's not all I do. So I make sure that I've got a paid advertising campaign. Right? And what that does is that drives leads. Okay, so I'm paying for traffic, I'm buying traffic. I do not, if all you want to do is not spend money and just keep trying to grow your profiles organically, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, like anywhere, it is a long, hard slog, and it's probably going to be, I don't know, maybe like 3 years in the making, right? If you're, and I don't know about you, I don't have 3 years to wait. I'm freaking impatient, and I'm just like, just fucking hurry up. So what I'd be looking at doing is implementing a paid advertising strategy by where you are buying traffic, you generate a lead. Don't just do it to grow a fan base. Don't pay for likes. Don't boost your posts. Don't do anything like that. We're actually buying traffic with the intention of generating a lead. So that's a name and an email address. And then you need to know, what are you going to do with that lead once you've acquired them? And your job is to build relationships and try and get them to take some kind of action with you, whether it's attending a webinar. I'm running one today actually at 12 if you want to come and join me. Just as a little sneaky little insert there. Is it about hopping on the phone? If you guys want to talk about, and the way I would do that is like, we've got Spy School coming up where you will learn how to do all of this. If you want to come along to Sales and Marketing Spy School in October and you're not sure if it's right for you, send me a message with your phone number. I will call you. I'll give you a call. We'll make sure it's the right thing for you. And then we'll go forward from there, or you'll go off and be free. So you could do that. Don't sell. Well, you can sell Spy School for me if you like. That'd be fabulous. But you want to do it for whatever it is that you're doing, right? Because in that way, you're going to start being able to generate a financial return on investment. You'll be able to generate revenue. Now, when you're generating the revenue, that's when you'll then start putting that back into more marketing, probably more advertising, right? So it does two things. So number one, we're growing your list, we're growing relationships, we're having powerful conversations with people, we're solving their problems, and at the same time, your profile and your visibility is going up. That's when we start to become professionally famous in your industry, right? That drives visibility, that grows your platform. But if you're looking at just doing all of that, then it is a really freaking long road. Okay, so take from that what you will. I hope that helps, Louise. yeah, keep on keeping on. But we've got to have a strategy, right? Otherwise, the thing that happens is you start and we don't get any feedback, right? In terms of leads or interaction or good morning, Kim. We don't have any of that, external validation, I suppose, is the easiest way to try and explain that. We don't have buy-in. It just takes a lot longer to get that buy-in happening. And so then what happens, it's kind of like, if you imagine, it's a bit like busking down the mall when it's silent, right? You might play the violin, but no one can hear you and they're just kind of like looking at you or not even seeing you. You're not going to make any money. So we've got to go to the place where people want to hear you, where they want to see you, and things like that. So, but with the intention that we're generating leads and things like that. So it's got to be part of your overall strategy. Alrighty, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic Wednesday. To me, it feels like it's Thursday, so I'm a little bit miffed. On our morning walk this morning, chatting with the kids, and we were all in agreement that it feels like a really, really strange week. I have felt like I don't know what day it is this week. It's been really, really odd. So I'm glad that we've got these kind of mainstays in each day so that I kind of know. It helps me with what day it is. So really funny. Now, if you have any questions about anything, please let me know. Type them in here. You can message me. If you don't want everybody else to see them, you can email me. If you want to join me on the webinar today, I'll post a link underneath here if you'd like to come and join. It's happening at 12 o'clock Sydney time, which is in 2.5 hours. That was silly and ridiculous that I needed to do that on my fingers. So that's that. If you want to learn more about Sales and Marketing Spy School, let me know. You can leave your email below here and I can send you some information. If you want to hop on a call, let me know. Happy to talk you through it. Otherwise, have a rocking day. I'll see you tomorrow for How To Thursday. And then on Friday, we've got Celebrations and Insights. Have a really beautiful and awesome day, everyone. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.